Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to this presentation on digital experience. We'll be showing you how Ivanti can enable you to improve employee experience and have better outcomes with Ivanti neurons for Dex. So let's do some introductions. My name is Richard McNeil. Excuse me. I've been at Ivanti for 7 years now. And in that time, I've seen some huge changes. What used to be some siloed products, all doing what they did best, has transformed into a portfolio where every tool set we offer is dependent on many others to help our customers meet the demands their companies put on them. Today, I'm also joined by my colleague Arjun. Arjun, I will let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everybody and welcome from the Netherlands, my home office for today. As I said, my name is Arjan van 't Hof. I'm an account technology strategist. I'm in the IT business for over 25 years now. And in that period, I had a lot of different roles. The latest role at Ivanti, which I have almost 8 years now, is more focused on the platform that Ivanti offers in depth. So yeah, that's my role for today. And I'm presenting the part that we call the demo part for this presentation.
Okay, thank you, Arjun. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's take a look at what we will be covering. So what we're seeing today is that demands on IT and SecOps are ever increasing, with the need to rapidly innovate and accelerate growth in this ever-changing world that we now live in. CIOs have invested heavily in digital transformation initiatives to encounter these pressures. And Dex is one key area that positively impacts productivity, talent acquisition and retention, but as well as security and operational agility, and all of these ultimately leading to business growth. In the session, we'll focus on why it's critical to prioritize Dex to achieve these goals. Recent polls tell us that 75% of CEOs believe they can't manage their digital transformation efficiently due to the complexity involved. More devices, a wider variety of systems in more dispersed locations creates huge complexity that current tool sets simply cannot address efficiently. The cost of this is an impact on risk and security. Remote workers have caused a huge surge in help desk tickets. Shadow IT and other factors bring a huge burden onto IT. Added to this is the human element. A new generation of user has different expectations from technology. They're typically less security aware and don't expect to be asked to do upgrades or change settings. They expect it to happen automatically. And this is not going to change. The burden will fall on IT. If IT get it wrong, it can have an impact on employee retention and productivity, and ultimately damage the reputation of the business. This is why Ivanti have put a big focus on Dex, the solution to the challenges outlined above. Now, some of you may be familiar with parts of the Ivanti portfolio, but Dex taps into numerous systems and sources of information in order to give an accurate insight into the user's digital experience. Whether it's from the Ivanti's portfolio of service management, security, UEM, and all the other various tool sets we have available, or alternatively, it could be from the numerous third-party sources. Dozens of data points combine to give insight into how well devices are working and what sort of experience the users are having. Now, the Ivanti Dex solution is designed to address numerous different issues that impact Dex. We'd like to show you a demo today where we'll look at an example of one of these common problems experienced by users, such as slow devices caused by perhaps a CPU performance issue. So the way this is going to work, the neuron system closes the loop on identifying and resolving these issues. A ticket may be raised through the service desk or could be automatically detected and marked for investigation. It then provides the insight in real time of why a device might be performing poorly, It allows the analyst to immediately provide a fix without the need to escalate to second-line support. It will then help the analyst to identify if this issue is common across the estate, allowing them to decide if further action is necessary. And finally, we can then automate the above process so that any device that experiences similar issues will immediately be detected and the issue automatically resolved without any further manual intervention. This has the effect of improving end-user experience, thus increasing the Dex score and reducing the number of tickets raised in the help desk. I'll now hand you over to Arjun to show you this in action. So Arjun, over to you.
Thank you, Richard, for your introduction. And let me share my screen first so that everyone is looking at my screen. Hopefully everyone is able to see my screen right now. Richard, can you see my screen? Someone else? Okay, you will see the home screen here. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Good. Let's go.
So let's go. As Richard already said, the Dex solution consists of 4 modules, basically. That's the discovery module, the edge intelligence module, the workspace module, and the neurons for bots module. This is a demo environment which has a lot of other modules in it. So if you see things that don't look familiar to you, which you cannot associate with the Dex, well, that's correct, because this is a full platform with all the capabilities that the Ivanti Neurons platform has. So as Richard mentioned, discovery is basically the first module that I'm going to show you. And that's because it's the start of all things. You know, if you don't know what's happening in your environment, you don't know what devices there are, well, then it's not easy to manage them. So first we need to discover them as a first phase in your whole process. I'm not going to do a full discovery, but because that takes some time. So what I will do is go directly to the results of the discovery. Well, we have 2 types of discovery. We have let's say an active discovery, and we have a passive discovery. The active discovery is based on the actual things that are found in your network, but we also use a passive discovery, and that's basically adding connectors to other data sources. In this environment, you see some of those connectors already configured for this specific environment. And what we can do with it, and basically with the results of it, is filter out the differences between the different repositories with different kinds of assets. So, for example, if I go to the demo environment and I look at at the Intune discovered devices and also Dex discovered devices, and I want to know, well, which devices are discovered by Intune, for example, and are not discovered or not managed with the Ivanti Neurons for Dex solution. I can immediately see that there are 2 devices here that are not managed with Ivanti Neurons because they exist in Windows Intune, but they're not managed with Ivanti Neurons. So if I want to know which devices these are, I can immediately go directly to the devices page, and the 2 devices will show up, so I can take another action on that. This is just an example of what you can achieve with the results of the discovery. Other things that can be of value of your environment is that you can easily see what kind of memory, for example, is installed on the different devices. So if I go to installed memory, I can easily see, well, I have, let's say, 86 devices that has less than 4 gig. Well, this is maybe important information for a migration you're planning, because Windows 11 or 12, maybe in the future, will require 5 gigs or 6 gigs of memory. So this kind of information helps you quickly see what kind of devices and characteristics of the devices are in your environment. But we have a lot of pre-packed smart devices in the environment, and this will constantly be expanded. But if I go to the device reconciliation again, in this environment, I configured the connectors to these environments, but we also offer a lot of extra connectors, which maybe suits your environment or is a repository of devices in your environment. Also, this list is constantly expanded, and with every new release we do, we have different data sources or new data sources added to the system. Well, so much for the data discovery. And if you have discovered the devices, well, then the next step would be to go to the Edge Intelligence module. And this will tell you all about your environment in real time. So it's not based on a database or something like that, or an earlier inventory. No, this is all real information. And it gives you that Google-like experience. So if I want to know, for example, which machines or which devices in my environment have a high CPU utilizations, I can ask that question to the system. Now you can see that I already did that before, but if I type it in, it shows CPU. It goes directly to that query and shows me in real time. You can see the building of the graphics that is done in real time. Well, in my case, of course, all my systems have a very low and healthy CPU usage. But well, if I simulate something like a high CPU memory, then it will show up as a high CPU machine. And let's do that for this demo. So I prepared a machine here. This is just a normal Windows 11 machine, nothing special here. And I will create a CPU stress for this machine. So let's put some load on the CPU here. And as you can see on the right, in the task manager, I'm bursting now the CPU load for this specific machine. Well, let's burst it a little bit further and make it actually almost 100%. You see the CPU is bursting right now. And it's almost 90% right now. It's over 90%. So when I switch back to my environment and I do that same investigation again, then hopefully you will see that one of the devices here is actually reporting a high CPU. What I can do is drill into that machine directly, and I can resolve the problem right here. So I can stop the process that is causing that high CPU from here, right away from this console. So if I do that, you see that the system reports to me that it successfully completed this action. And when I switch back to my virtual machine again, you see that the process that is causing that high CPU is now being remediated. The same can be done for memory. So what I'm trying to do here is to fake a memory hole in a certain application. When I'm starting that, you can immediately see that the memory is going up. Well, the same procedure can be done here. So if I go back to my Neuros platform, clear the results, and I go for a memory performance, memory usage. Well, it's reporting immediately that there is one has a high memory. It's not only me, you see, there are more devices in this environment that report a high memory usage, but I can also remediate it right away from here. Well, this is great, you know, if you look at it. And this information from Edge Intelligence is not only valuable for the system admins or analysts within the organizations, but if you look at, for example, the security real-time information we can offer, that will be valuable for security administrators or the CISOs. Because what I can do here is immediately see all over my whole environment, for example, where the firewall is disabled. And you see that the results come in very quickly. In this environment, we have 102 agents running and 102 responded. So if I click on this, you will see the results of, in this case, where the firewall is disabled on the machines. I can also take action on it immediately, but this I'm not going to do for the demo. But you can see that there are a lot of, well, interesting information queries being possible for different kind of roles within the organization. So not only the analyst can have support for this of this Edge Intelligence feature, but also other roles within the organization. Well, if I resolve that issue and that the user is still complaining about things that are not really good in their environment, we can take a closer look at the device itself. So for that, I go to Devices. In this case, I already filtered it on my device, so I can go directly to the device that I'm using right here. And this is what we call the workspace module. It gives you that 360-degree view of your whole environment, and in this case, particularly the client, the device that I'm using. When I click on it, you can see that it comes with an overview of all the possibilities. And the beauty of this is, as I'm, for example, when I'm an analyst, I don't have to go and to log into different systems because I now have all the information at hand that I need. So not only the login name, the username, etc., but also it's populating it with the real-time intelligence information. So let's say the performance part, and also I can easily see if there are incidents or tickets being raised on my name for this device. So I also have an overview of that part of your environment. Well, you can also see we have some basic network information, etc., etc. When I go to the performance tab, I can see I can drill in more directly into the processes that are running and also into services. Well, if some of the services is not running, I can easily go to this part and make it run. So I can press this button and without logging into the device itself, just being remote, I can start this service and help the user. As I said, we have a small section for the service management part. I come back to that later. You have some capabilities to troubleshoot. For example, if I wanted to know the IP config, if that's correct for this computer, well, I can immediately do that without logging in or asking the user to do some actions. I also have that Edge Intelligence part here, a little bit different interface, but it gives you the same results as the Edge Intelligence, which I showed you earlier. I also have the possibility to see what software that we inventoried from this particular machine, the missing patches or the installed patches, an overview of that. Now, this if this particular patch is missing, then I can deploy it from here. This is not part of the Dex offering. This is part of the neurons for patch management. That's why you can see that it's now integrated into this console. So from a analyst perspective, I'm able to install a patch right away from this console. All those details that we discovered are basically in this part of the interface. I'll not go through to any of them, but and the most important part here is the Dex score. Now, as you can see that this machine has a 68 critical score of the digital experience, and that's basically because I have a lot of service incidents which are opened, in this case, 6 and 7 days ago. So not only that we measure the user experience based on the device, but also if I have a lot of incidents tickets in the system standing out, well, that gives me also that negative user experience because I have to wait for a very long time until it is solved. Well, if you use this as an analyst, we also have on the right the capability of doing some actions. Well, we have two kinds of actions: the actions that are part of the system, so that we provide you, but you can also add your own custom systems, custom actions. Sorry. So one of them is, for example, create an incident. Well, I'm able to create an incident directly from this interface. So I don't have to log into the service management, etc., etc. No, I can easily do that from here. So when I click on that, you can see that the name of the asset is already repopulated. The customer that is issuing this issue is also looked up in the database. So if I for example, I will take Billy as a customer of this who's reporting this incident. Let's put me in some data for the demo purposes. Not able to log in, for example. Give it a category, an impact. Well, it's a high impact because I cannot log in. High urgency, and I can save it right away. Now this is, in this case, we have a connector with the service management part. So this is actually registered in the service management part. Hopefully, when I go to the service management part and I update the screen, you can see that there is a direct connection between the service management part and what we show here. So hopefully not able to log in. Yeah, well, you can see here that it's now registered, and hopefully it will be picked up by the service management guys if that's necessary. That's for the device view and the workspace management of the workspace part. The last part that I wanted to show you is the ability to have bots. As I showed you before, you will have that edge intelligence part, and well, that is all based on a reactive management. So with the bots, we're able to do more proactive management. And I will give you an example of that. And I go to the neurons bots for that. These bots are let's say automatic workflows which can be triggered on a time schedule, or they can be triggered right now. Well, I actually prepared one, but for the demo purposes, let's build it up from scratch. So let's delete it from here. And the use case here is, well, a user complains that he gets messages from the system that he's using that he's running out of disk space. So what we are trying to achieve is to create a bot that, based on a certain schedule, runs and takes a look at the end user device and then does some cleanup actions. And it's very easy to do that with the system. This is a low code, no code system, so you don't have to program or develop scripts or whatever. It's all being done from this interface. Now, as you can see, we have a lot of templates already in the system. So if you want to use this, it can help you to quickly start with the bot. For the demo, I'm going to create a custom action. So let's create one. And when I go to actions here, I have a lot of custom actions already at my disposal. So let's see what we can do. Well, if the disk is running out of disk space, the first thing I want to do is clean the disk. The second thing I want to do is, for example, clear the browser data. And maybe at last I want to delete the user downloads. Well, with these three kind of actions, I'm able to clean out a lot of disks, full disk space. So, well, I think that's for the demo. It's okay. It's enough. So let's bind them together and sorry. So what will happen right now is that when I run this bot, it will clean the disk with the data that is 7 days or older. Or if, for example, you want to set that to 14 or 30 days, that's also possible. Then it clears the browser data, and then it deletes the user data, the user downloads, sorry. That's for now, it's enough. So I save and publish this. Give it a name. And it's now part of my Neurons bots. As you can see here. Well, what I'm going to do on the device, on the endpoint, is I'm going to simulate an overflow of a low disk space situation. In this case, it's still healthy, but if I create a lot of data on this disk, you will see, well, it's almost full. So when I go to my environment again, and first show you the actual disk load. So I can go to Edge Intelligence and see, well, the free disk space. Well, I have one device or maybe more devices, a low disk space. I can go from here and clean up the disk, but that will still be a manual action. What I want to do is run a bot that once in a while goes out to all my devices and clear out that's disk space. So if I go from here and I say run now, and I can run it to my whole environment or just to a selection. In this case, I'm going to use a selection of endpoints, of which I am obviously a member of this group, and I run it. Now, what you see here is that the first action is taking place. It's now running actually, and it's done. So then it goes to the next one, and hopefully the last one also turns out green when it runs. Well, that's done. So let's go back to my endpoint here. and see what happened. So let's refresh the disk space, and you can see that it is resolved right away. So without any user intervention, without any messaging to the user itself, I was able to clean out and proactively help the user in this situation. If you look at the bots again, then you can easily extend this, for example, with a lot of extra functionality. So in this case, this works for me, and I want to inform the user. Well, we use Teams in our organization, so I want to inform the user with a message that we just cleared out his disk. I easily can put an extra action on it, and if the user uses Teams, I can create a message which appears in the Teams chat, and it can inform the user that we just cleaned out his disk, that he's able to work from there. Well, this was basically what I was willing to show you on this demo of Ivanti Neurons for Dex. Hopefully you all had a good impression of the capabilities and the possibilities that are possible with this system. And with that, I will hand it over to you, Richard, again for the wrap up and some closing.
Thank you, Rajan. Excellent demo. Really appreciate your time there. Hope that was clear to everybody how it all looks in real life. Okay, so let's wrap this up by just having a quick look at what some of our customers are saying. So BCD Travel have empowered their analysts to directly identify the cause of many issues and take immediate action. A quicker and cheaper result for the analyst, but also a more impressive result for the end user. When they automate this process, those benefits only increase further. Kingston University in the UK, they automatically detect battery degradation in the laptop estate, and this ensures a new battery is sent to the remote user's home address before the laptop performance degrades too far. In the past, this could have led to a device being out of action for a week or more, which is not untypical in a poorly managed remote workforce. And I think South Star Bank summed it up quite nicely in that they allow neurons to continuously solve the large number of small problems whilst they get on with the big stuff. So I'd like to leave you today with some information resources should you want to dig a little deeper into this topic. And thank you very much for joining us. Have a good day.